So next up, podcast listeners, we have the Daily Biden Dumpster Fire. And in the Daily Biden Dumpster Fire, we have something about Kamala Harris. So typically, the Daily Biden Dumpster Fire would be about Joe Biden, but there were so many dumpster fires this week, we have like years of dumpster fires to follow up on. So we decided to fill it in with Kamala, the vice president, because let's face it, she could very well be president really soon. And just when you think you would escape the dumpster fire of Biden, well, Kamala steps up. So in the Daily Caller, Kamala Harris says, you need to get to go, and you need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work. So Vice President Kamala Harris seemed to fumble her words yesterday during a speech at the American Rescue Plan Workforce Development Summit, which of course is a government agency that was created by your tax dollars. Harris told the crowd that together we are expanding access to transportation. She then suggested that transportation seems like maybe a small issue, but it's a big issue. You need to get to go, blah, blah, blah. Well, this shows you how stupid she is. We have the tweet. Reading it wouldn't do it justice. You have to hear it to believe it. Folks, we have it, and here it is.
Together, we are expanding access to transportation. Seems like maybe it's a small issue, it's a big issue. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
It's like that. I wouldn't want this person to even teach my children in K to 12. How is it that she's the vice president of the United States? I mean, how is it that we don't have one dumpster fire as president, but we have two? So when the top dumpster fire goes, you have a backup dumpster fire. I mean, these people are just stupid. They're just incredibly dumb. They cannot articulate. And they said Donald Trump couldn't articulate anything. I mean, how is it that these two are any better? So the Daily Caller continues. Before she started her speech, Harris touched on the Consumer Price Index report released last Wednesday. Quote, we passed a tax cut to give working families up to $8,000 a year, which means giving folks more room in their budgets to buy food, medication, and school supplies for their children, she said. President Joe Biden and I are always fighting to make sure that working families get ahead and stay ahead. The only problem is American families have lost the equivalent of almost $3,400 in annual income since Biden took office, the Heritage Foundation said. Well, folks, here's the other takeaway. The so-called $8,000 a year that Kamala Harris says that the Biden administration gave to working families, the $8,000 that she's talking about are in the form of taxpayer tax credits. So hear me out on this. You pay taxes. I'm sure you do if you're listening to Mark and the Millennials. But for those who don't pay taxes, that is to say, many people who are here illegally, and for those who are the working poor, the Biden administration is giving them money. Okay, they are receiving checks. But that it's a lie to say that a tax cut was given to working families. A tax cut was not given to working families by the Biden administration because Democrats don't believe in cutting taxes. They never cut taxes. Democrats believe in increasing taxes. And then once the government has that additional money, the Democrats take that additional money and give it to their base of supporters. So that's not a tax cut to their base of supporters. It is a giveaway by government, which steals from one group and gives to another. Only problem is that the group that the Democrats are giving to, the group that they're giving to, is actually realizing that the money they're receiving is worth less and less because of inflation. So then we have this vicious circle that just causes government to spin out of control and taxes to spin out of control. And that's Democrat economics, of course, 101. It's one of the reasons why we're going to have more and more disorder. But I want to play this for you again, just because I have to end with this, the podcast, with Kamala Harris saying this again. Imagine if you're in the audience and you're looking for hope. What's going to help us bring inflation down? What's going to help to bring our country back into balance? What's going to bring us together? Who has an answer to the economic crises that we're experiencing and the global disorder? Who has it? Kamala Harris has it. And let's play the clip one more time, Chris. Here it is.
Together, we are expanding access to transportation. Seems like maybe it's a small issue, it's a big issue. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
You need to get to go. It's not a small issue. It's a big issue. I mean, it's like kindergarten. I mean, really? Unbelievable. And that's the daily Biden dumpster fire. It's Kamala's turn. And that's it for Mark and the Millennials. Thank you for joining Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher. Thank you to our producer, Christopher Hopkins. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Truth Social, Getter, Rumble, and our website. See you next time.